Hello, everyone. It's your favorite neighborhood hot messes here. I'm Rachel.
I'm Sydney.
I'm Keegan.
Why did you sound a little confused about that?
I'm having a weird day.
All right. And this is Trauma Tuesday.
Do you want to restart?
We can absolutely restart.
It's okay.
I like the little question mark.
Okay.
I'm Keegan.
Hey. Anyways, so we recorded this in March. It is now July. And so our friend Seth actually edited this one. It's the only reason it's come out, the only reason you're listening to it right now. So please, everyone, thank Seth for being heaven sent from above and editing this, because clearly it wasn't going to come out otherwise. So please enjoy, or I'm sorry in advance. I honestly don't remember how this episode turned out, so.
Oh, because you got regurgitated by Sean Evans.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Welcome
a tough
back.
Time. Yeah. For anyone who plays Sims, when you're like, Sim would get eaten by a cow plant but live, and the cow plant would like cough them back up. That's what Sean Evans did to Keegan, and we witnessed it. I told you Sean Evans ain't Keegan.
Yeah. Also, if you hear a dog barking,
and we're not gonna kill the dog.
We're not. Okay, if Rachel keeps that in editing, Rachel, I'm going to personally take you out and shoot you Old Yeller style.
Except take me out, give me back shots.
Like that onion.
I'm gonna take you out and do shots off your back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
shots,
alcoholic shots.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Oh, like that Kim Kardashian picture that broke the internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, there may be some dog barks occasionally.
Yeah. Sorry.
New neighbors.
Not sorry.
The new neighbor is not a dog. In case anyone was wondering.
Oh no, she's a grade A bitch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We haven't even met the new neighbor.
She made me really nice.
She's probably
Y'all's
really
walls
nice.
are not that thick.
But Keegan is.
Thank you.
Okay, I hate that.
I just do the Sin City was a meme.
Trauma Riz.
Yeah. I was helping Sydney hold something under our sink while she like refilled the soap thing, and our hands touched, and she went, "Oh, we're holding hands," and then she immediately, way too fast, said, "Roommate Riz."
Ooh.
It's just like,
I was like,
for some reason that feels like incest. Like,
honestly, I understand.
Equals incest.
I understand the thought process. However,
yeah. I also, okay, so you know how sometimes we just like randomly say things we thought of throughout the week, or like just at the beginning. Yeah.
Like what happened this week?
Yeah, and so it wasn't anything like weird that happened, because I know we used to say that, but I did walk into, okay, now it sounds like a joke. I walked into a bar, I just genuinely did. And there was like, I was actually with my mom, and there was this guy with a microphone, and I had actually been to a stand-up comedy show at this bar before. So I'm like, okay, stand-up comedy show. There's this guy walking around with a microphone, and he's talking to people. And I hear him say something along the lines of like, the heart is the biggest organ. What else is the biggest organ? And I'm waiting for the punchline. And he says this like 3 times. And I'm like, what's the fucking punchline? Like, I'm thinking this in my head. And then I realize he goes, all right, 2 more minutes, guys. Hey, it's not a stand-up comedy show, it's trivia. It's a fucking trivia game.
Oh.
I am waiting for the punchline of a trivia game.
That makes a lot more sense.
How? Okay.
The heart is not the biggest organ.
Okay, I don't know exactly what it was. It was something along the lines of, it sounded like it was going to be an innuendo. It was, in my head, it sounded like.
Oh.
And so then it just ended up being like the start of a genuine fact. But that reminded me, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this story though, of when I did go to a stand-up comedy show there. It was a first date, and this was a while ago, probably like, God, 6 months ago or something. I don't know. I think it was in the summer. And I am meeting this person there, and they say, "Hey, I got tickets to the stand-up comedy show." I'm like, "Great! I did not even know that place existed. It just opened." And this is the underfront, in case you want a visual. So
that's the place where we saw my coworker, right?
Yeah, and so I, meet him outside, and we walk in. And we are sitting at the bar, and then the stand-up comedy like has 2 openers, and it's just a chill bar, just not many people there. And one of the openers starts, and we're like, oh man, the mic's not that loud. We can barely hear him. And we thought we were going to be able to sit at the bar and listen, but not. We're realizing we can't. So we moved to the only seats available. which are right in front of the comedian. And if you know how those work, they do crowd work with you if you are right fucking in front of them. So it's me on one, like, and my date on one side, and then these two women, probably in their 30s, on the other, that are like right in front of him. And I am already realizing I'm not that into this guy. He doesn't look that much like his pictures. Like, this is why, and I'm already realizing this. Okay, but I'm still being very nice. And
Is
so,
he the stand-up comedian?
No.
Oh, thank God.
I was sitting beside. How could he?
I thought he was gonna like
get
count
out.
down 5.
Damn it! Now,
4.
now my
3,
story isn't that
2.
interesting.
I was like, fuck.
But so basically, one of the openers, he's kind of bombing, unfortunately, and because he's not the actual like comedian. But I am giving him like a few pity laughs. Like, if anyone is going to be in a crowd at a stand-up comedy, it's going to be me. I giggle at almost everything. I am a great person to have in your stand-up comedy crowd, okay? But then there's also this woman across from me who is also, that is the case with her. She's laughing at everything. And the comedian turns to her and goes, "You are delightful. You laugh at everything." She goes, "Thank you." And is like talking to her friend. He's like going back and forth with them. Then he turns to me. He goes, "You too. Like, oh my God, I have like the most delightful people across from me. He points to me, he goes, "You laugh so much, like, I love that, you seem wonderful." Then he turns to the guy I'm with, he goes, "You, however, look like when a celebrity changes his appearance to play a serial killer in a movie." And I was like,
No.
one, what the fuck does that mean? But like, also, you kind of know what it means.
But like you picture Ross Lynch in those 70
That's
glasses.
exactly what I pictured.
And so,
Oh, God.
100%.
basically, it's also a good way to gauge, though, someone's like anger
his
level,
name Gage?
because the guy was like, okay, like, instead of, he could have gotten annoyed, like, "Oh, you're targeting me," and like being nice to the person I'm like here on a date with. So basically, these two women are over across from us.
Are you fucking flirting with my girlfriend?
So he's chill
My
about it.
date?
He goes like, "Haha, whatever," like, you know. And I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck that even means. And so, then it goes on, and the guy asked, he goes, like, "Are you guys dating?" I go, "This is actually a first date." And the girl across from us, he had called wonderful as well, turns to her friend and goes, "I knew it!" And then turns to me and goes, "Sorry." And I was like, I have spent so much. I do this thing where I love looking at strangers and making up a story for them. And I do that. So and it never occurred to me that someone else could do that to me. She had been turning to her friend and being like, "I bet they're on a first date and she doesn't seem that into him." Or something.
That would.
And so I love perceiving strangers and making up stories about them. And it had never occurred to me until that moment that they could be doing the exact same thing to me.
That you're perceived back.
Yeah, that is my silly stand-up comedy story that I don't remember if I've told you guys, but I don't think I've told it on the show. But yeah, that's pretty much, that was it.
Oh, God.
Oh
Oh,
my
God.
goodness. Well, you know what that comedian wasn't?
Funny?
It didn't. Yeah, it sounded like he wasn't that funny. So
Yeah.
he wasn't probably an expert comedian. a
Oh, we're
professional.
expert comedians.
Yeah.
All right.
We're
Yeah.
also experts in many other things.
Yeah, like sliding into the topic.
Cyberbullying.
Sliding into the topic.
Yeah.
Cyber.
Realtor that's homophobic.
I still think that's a great idea.
I wrote it down that night.
Wait, what
I
did
think
you
it's
say?
a great idea.
When we're here, we like started talking about a real estate agent that's homophobic.
So they'd be like touring all these apartments, and then they get to a home, they'd be like, "So you're a Bush guy. I see."
Oh yeah, I forgot. It was like really passive aggressive. They were like, "I don't judge people who own homes, but it's just not my kind of lifestyle I support. I personally would rather be in an apartment and not like have my own maintenance, and I don't have to do my own yard work. But if you own a home, like I support you." It's basically
Yeah.
I love that so
this
much.
passive
Oh my
aggressive
goodness.
realtor.
That was so good. Why do you need that many?
Write that down.
bathrooms?
Write that down.
Are you hiding something? Do you need that many entryways? Are you trying to say something?
Do you need that many arched doorways? Oh, I get it. You're arching your doorways. Interesting choice.
You're arching your doorways.
But yeah, that's kind of random of us.
Do you have a front door and a back door? Slut.
Yeah, she's actually an expert on
Get out of
doors.
that fucking gutter. Sorry. Anyways.
Hardly know her. I was allowed 3 of those a week now.
You're
Just
yeah,
now.
and you've already used your second one.
I have not made another one. Not this week. I don't think I have.
I haven't been here, so I don't know why you're looking at me. Oh.
Okay. So what are we doing today, guys?
We're the experts on comedy. Keegan already forgot what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, it's been a weird day.
Keegan's on meth.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's clarify.
Not again.
No. Of course, we're actually joking.
My new medication starts with meth.
Come here.
Oh, hello.
And it ends with a good time.
Yeah, it's so I.
Please get
I
away
don't
from
know
the
what
camera.
else it's called.
Hey.
Mrs. Flatulence.
Okay, my cat does not fart.
Tina.
That's a horrible sentence.
Come here.
Mrs. Flatulence, come over here.
She's not fat either.
I said.
Okay.
Not there. Here.
Literally anywhere, but you're going the two places in the room we don't want you there right now.
Go away, ho.
You're adopted. My hair color matches her fur now, and that's because she's my biological child and I gave birth to her. Anyways.
Do you know that movie that's like
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know the name. I don't remember what movie it is, but it has Stanley Tucci in it.
Okay.
And it's like this couple, it's like a dad and a wife. And
ECA.
Yes.
Yeah, he goes, because I'm adopted, and it's like a little black child with white parents, and the dad goes, no, how did you know?
That's
Did
what I
you know
was gonna
Steve
say.
Buscemi got stabbed here?
Yeah,
In
actually.
Wilmington?
Crazy.
I don't know if it was you that told me, but
Probably.
okay.
Yeah, I was looking up like a good Mexican restaurant to go to, and this restaurant popped up that was permanently closed, and I don't know how. I just wanted to know why, and looked it up, and it was Steve Buscemi stabbed. It's very curious.
That's so like
Delicious.
crazy.
So you're an expert on Steve Buscemi being stabbed.
Yes.
And this is, anyway, I don't
So
know
what
how
are the rules of the game?
Okay, it's called World's Greatest Expert, or World's Biggest Expert, I guess. Yeah. And so basically, one of us will pick one of the other two and randomly give them the first topic or word that they think of, and the other person who is selected has to come up with a lecture on it. Okay, wow, no, be more enthusiastic. I'm sorry.
No, I've literally
This is a very comfy setup. Anyway, the other person who is selected has to come up with a lecture about it on the spot. It does not have to be true. It probably will not be. But so basically, yeah, that's pretty much it. They become the world's greatest expert, and they say, because I am the world's greatest expert, here is everything you need to know about this topic that was just given to me.
No, it's 100% true.
Yeah,
We're
it is.
experts.
On the world's greatest expert, yeah.
I've never lied once in my life.
Never.
We're gonna one day get on the lie detector test, and we'll show Keegan being like, never lying.
I'm actually the world's biggest expert on lie detector test. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only
Tell
know that
me about it.
because I took a psych class where they talked about how they're not true. Oh, is this you prompting me? Is this like, okay, I am the world's biggest expert. Why can't I say expert? Expert on lie detector tests. Due to my psych minor, and that makes me the world's biggest expert. They're actually known to not be reliable at all. However, they used to be used in court cases all the time. And actually, Old Man Joe is the best case of this. He said that he did not marry his favorite donkey on the farm, and everyone's like, I swear to God that man married his donkey, like I was a witness at the wedding, but there's no documents of this. Nobody can prove this. This was in 1866, and so they hooked him up to a lie detector. They said, look, if you say you didn't marry your donkey and it says you're telling the truth, then we will let you go. But if it says that, that's really fucked up, dude, and you're gonna be in jail for a couple days. No biggie. It's just the county jail. We don't really have much. It's mostly just like one sheriff. Anyway, so they hooked him up to the lie detector test, and it showed he was lying when he said he didn't marry his donkey. So he did, in fact, wed that donkey, and they ended up hanging and quartering him. Like, pulled him apart by 4 horses, yeah.
Oh my god, so
Damn.
I was just watching the Britney.
Death by
Britney-
orgy.
Death by Orgy.
Sorry?
Tied up and pulled apart.
Oh.
How do you know that he was telling the truth?
We don't, because lie detector tests are unreliable. We know that now, but
But-
we didn't know that then. So he was unfortunately torn apart limb by limb for
But
maybe no reason.
Maybe.
Ironically, one of the horses was his donkey.
I mean,
So it wasn't a
We've
horse?
done worse.
No, one of them. There's 4 horses.
Yeah.
They're all
So it
going
wasn't
different
a
directions,
horse.
but one of them was his donkey wife. So, just for the irony of it.
You
Torn
know,
apart by love.
He,
And
Fascism.
okay, it is my turn.
Oh.
it's not your turn now. Fascism.
So fascism isn't a part of this game.
It
It can be. Keegan, I heard that you're actually the world's greatest expert on icebergs. So can you tell me all about them?
So, yes, I actually, if you go back in time and you look at the Titanic, we understand that it was actually geometrically designed to take that motherfucker down.
Yeah. fuck that
Right?
iceberg, yeah.
Okay.
So, specifically on one end, we had sexual pleasure. Right?
Oh,
Of the Titanic or the
that's good.
iceberg?
The iceberg.
Okay.
So, to match all of our descents, right? Because
Right.
in French, the little death, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
I actually
then-
did understand that.
And then for our Germans, for our Americans, for
Mhm.
Oppenheimer,
Yes.
we have the atomic bomb on the other half.
We're still on icebergs? With
Yes.
the- okay,
correct,
okay.
Correct.
Okay.
We just have tweezers waiting to pull apart the atoms.
Okay.
Okay. I
and
might
then-
need a chart for this one.
We don't have time.
You're just too
She's
dumb.
a very busy woman.
I'm sorry, I'm the expert here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
my bad.
And then on the third side, we just have something that you could not comprehend.
Triangle.
Yes, it is a triangular iceberg that took down the Titanic.
Like the one in Club Penguin.
An isosceles triangle.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sexy.
Yeah, angles in which not even a beauty influencer could attain.
Yeah. I
Right.
can be your ankle or your devil.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, I tried to take the Minecraft username Angle of Death, and somebody had already taken that.
Damn it.
And I'm very upset by it.
It's probably a
I'm
kid.
very upset by it. And so on our third corner, we have a Roomba. Because we need to cover up all evidence.
How does
all
it not go
evidence.
into the water, the Roomba?
This Roomba is like no other Roomba.
Okay.
It's a Toomba.
It's a boomba.
It's a Toomba. T-O-M-B.
It's
A.
for all the bodies.
It's not a Toomba. It's a Toomba.
Okay.
I like it. I like
It buries its enemies. Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, whether or not we have the little death or the big death,
Yeah.
we know that the ashes will be covered, buried, incinerated, vacuumed, and disposed of
Very
by
efficient.
Toomba.
By Toomba.
Incinerated on the iceberg.
Correct.
Okay.
And the one thing about icebergs is that they will keep growing and growing and growing until, guess what? Global warming. And you know what happens with
a
global
grower, not a shower.
Correct. And you know what happens with global warming? They melt and they melt and they melt. So on either side of the spectrum,
Mhm.
on all 3 corners of our icebergs, not 4, it's not a cube.
Right.
Get that fucking right. It's not a goddamn ice cube.
Get that cube out of your
Okay.
head.
There
right
is
now.
never evidence. You will never ever catch me.
Okay. With the Titanic or it's unrelated?
I can't disclose this information.
Oh, okay.
You just run away.
You can't know. I simply cannot define the bounds in
Okay.
which icebergs will destroy humanity.
Okay.
The Arctic Circle?
It's a triangle.
Exactly!
Fuck.
You don't understand.
This is upsetting. I should have asked. I should have asked the world's greatest expert on icebergs.
Oh my god, yeah.
When you
anyways.
thought the world was flat,
Mhm.
and then we proved that it was spherical,
Yeah. And juicy as hell.
guess what? We have another stage of education.
Yeah.
And then another. The third level is the third point and the goddamn triangle of Iceberg Central, okay?
Dante's
So what
Circle
we
of
have,
Hell.
Dante's Inferno,
Yeah.
okay? What we have here is that the world is actually a fucking triangle. And what we have beyond that is we are just simply an iceberg. And once the iceberg melts, we are a ball of water. And what does that ball of water become? An evaporated droplet
Okay.
that then condenses into the next gaseous molecule that becomes the next
water in your ramen
breathable
noodles.
oxygen that will be enveloped or like ingested by the
Phage.
next being that will invade any other organism that it will dominate,
Yeah.
and we will not be around.
Okay.
I
you
think
can intro.
Keegan just discovered a new religion.
I think she invented vaping. At the end of the day, aren't we all just inhaling toxic water droplets as
We are a toxic water droplet.
Stop sponsoring your vape shop. Will not.
It's called
shop
Rapes
there.
Vapes. It's
You
a horrible
can't
name.
say that.
It's a horrible name, guys.
Oh my
Surprisingly, it wasn't taken for some reason.
God. What?
Rapes and vape.
I didn't say rapes and, I said rapes, as in the belongs to, possessive noun of vapes.
Some would say that the cancer is invasive.
Uh-huh. Some
The toxins.
some would say that.
The ads.
Okay, yeah.
Your name.
Okay.
Everything about it.
You choose the next word and person to talk.
You can double up 2 on people.
Yeah. Like, imagine if it was my turn and I just made her talk more. You're like, fuck. I learned a lot about icebergs.
I still don't know what we were talking about.
Little
Oh,
deaths.
iceberg. What'd you say?
The French have a word for orgasms that translates to little deaths. So I knew what was happening at that point. I think I got lost after that.
I
So
got
about
lost after
10 seconds in.
Sigmund Freud and the id, which was the first point she made.
No, the Titanic was the first.
I never brought up Sigmund Freud. So.
Yeah,
Gaslighting.
you didn't say Sigmund Freud, but you said sexual pleasure.
Oral
And so-
fixations. My vape
Sexual
shop, guys.
pleasure does not does not.
Freud.
Well,
Hand in
that's
hand with
whole
Freud.
Freud's thing.
Freud. Oral
Yeah, so is
fixation.
a
My
million
vape
other,
shop.
a billion other people's things.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah, he's just known,
My
like, that's
vape
one of
shop.
his biggest things.
Yeah,
Like,
but he's a piece of shit and like not relevant.
I
didn't
know,
bring
I
up
know.
Freud.
I thought you did. My bad.
I did not. Freud is not relevant in the terms of iceberg nature.
I do love that everyone in psychology laughs at Freud, though.
Yeah, Freud is so dumb.
That was one of like the first
He was
things
just
we.
horny.
He was.
Yeah, and for all the wrong reasons. I can't.
He would have loved seeing people be addicted to vapes.
He would have loved furry culture.
Maybe you're
And Trisha
just
Paytas.
subconsciously missing your mom's teat, and that's why you suck
Yeah.
on a vape.
Hashtag ad.
I hope that's not true.
No,
No,
they already. They,
100% not.
He's a bullshitter, but he didn't know that, so. R.I.P.
Okay.
Freud, you would have loved Trisha Paytas' daddy issues.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you have a word?
And a person.
I'm gonna just make something up because it's literally not working on my phone. But
Do you want to use mine?
I'm gonna talk about.
Okay.
Um.
Oh, you're assigning
You're
yourself?
talking?
No. Sorry. I need somebody to be.
Who is your person that is an expert?
You guys can both be this.
Oh, we're pitching together.
Okay.
I need you guys to be experts on Oompa Loompas hair loss.
Oh.
Please, I need to know, like, how can we cure this? What do
I've
we
been
do?
waiting for this one.
Mhm. I know. Our research has been years.
It's really been
It's been a
quite an
hard
eventful
struggle,
decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I first saw the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I did see the newer one versus the older one first. I was very concerned
Really?
about yes.
That's actually kind of disturbing.
That's-
Anyway, continue.
like
Disturbing that I saw the newer one before
So there's 3.
Yeah.
So what do
Yeah.
you mean by the newer one?
the newer one, as
Timothy
in
Chalamet
10
one.
years ago.
Okay.
Wait.
The newer one.
I thought you meant the Timothy
not
Chalamet
Wonka,
one.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay, because I was upset for a
Okay.
second.
Yeah, no, continue.
I
Sorry.
haven't seen Wonka. Yeah. So whenever I first saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I got very concerned about the stress levels inside that factory and how it must be contributing to their hair loss. And I eventually met my colleague Rachel, and we really delved
An
in.
Oompa Loompa herself.
And-
I was about to say we actually. Sorry, who's the expert here?
I'm just identifying.
We actually
Through
met
a
on
book.
the ceiling of Willy Wonka's factory. We both drank the drink that makes you float up. We had a great conversation in the air before almost going to our demise an event. But before that, we had a great time. We eventually got down. So.
We even dodged a ceiling fan in the process.
We did.
And it
was difficult, but not as difficult as looking down from where we were at the ceiling of the factory and seeing the hairlines.
Dear God.
Oompa Loompa pattern baldness. OLPP.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes. What is your question?
Does that mean if you guys had to float to see the tops of the Oompa Loompas' heads, does that mean you guys are
Oompa
below the
Loompas-
height of the Oompa
It
They
just
are
happened to be
surprising.
the best view. Bird's eye view is the best
Yes.
view from Oompa Loompa pattern baldness.
But I'm saying
So the way that they look up,
you
they
were-
never have their back to you. They're very skittish. It's-
Because
Is that
of their
rude?
baldness.
it- yeah, so, and they wear toupees occasionally, so you'll see it's different from all of them. But then they'll like flop down real quick, and then it makes a little,
Yeah, it's
thing.
giving Trump.
yeah.
He's
and
actually an
so
escaped one.
we
Not
did
many
some-
people know that.
Yeah. He's the one that he took
That's why he's so
that
orange.
Wonka decided to create a candy that made
Made you
you grow.
huge.
Yeah.
Made your
huge.
hands huge.
And it unfortunately was permanent.
Mhm.
And that's what turned Donald J. Trump. And it turned his hair white because he's one of the oldest few Oompa Loompas. But he's not the wisest.
I was about to say the infomercials from the early 2000s where you could use a stamp to fill in some bald spots. We
a
actually
postage stamp.
no
Yeah.
the stamps on your head. You know what I mean? When you would fall asleep, you would wake up, that infomercial would be on. So
my gosh,
we
what?
actually were the ones who progressed the urge for them to start selling green ones to blend in with the Oompa Loompa hairline, and they now will sometimes stamp their head with a little tune along to it. But that is how we have really helped progress this issue, because you cannot be a bystander to this, okay?
No.
You can't look at their suffering and the Oompa Loompa pattern baldness, and just be a bystander to that. It's disgusting, and I don't respect you if you have witnessed this baldness and haven't done anything to help fund this.
And if you want to help us and you you can donate 25 cents a day.
Every minute of every day.
Every
For the
minute
rest
of
of
every
your
day
life.
for the rest of your life
Yeah.
to OLMF.
Yeah.
Wait. OLPF. OLPB.
LMAOP.
LMFAO is also an Oompa Loompa.
Sorry for Party Rocking is about his struggle and his survival in Oompa Loompa pattern baldness. Should we just end it there?
You guys didn't solve it.
So
We're on our way.
We are currently working on a serum. We
Did you
can't
solve
talk too much about it.
icebergs?
Yes. It's also not a
You
question.
turned it into
It's
Dante's
also not a
Inferno.
question. It's not a question.
Honestly, after your speech, I wouldn't be surprised if icebergs did.
Got canceled.
You said Bush did 9/11, but
I
I
said
would
Sean
I would
Evans.
argue that iceberg did 9/11. What did the
You quit
greenery
coming
have?
for Sean Evans. Sean Evans did fucking nothing.
I
to
am
you.
literally referencing our last episode, which I have only
I wasn't
seen.
there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you don't know Sean did 9/11.
So yeah, now you said it's my turn to.
To assign things, yeah.
Okay.
Your turn to find the next greatest expert.
All right. Keegan, so you're an expert on narwhal lore. So
heard that,
can
I've heard
you
that.
please inform me, like tell our audience about this information of narwhals?
Yeah, nar lore actually
Nar
is
lore,
what the
yeah.
fanatics call it. I've heard. I actually don't know much about
Nor.
it. Nar lore.
Oh, Nor.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
It's also known as Nor.
Okay,
Um,
I'll shut up.
Which a lot of people don't know that Australians are oftentimes referencing this when we're talking Nor, because it's very prevalent in their
What
culture.
have you done?
So when we say "oh Nor clear," we're actually talking about the narwhal culture that ties back to H2O.
Oh, was that about the Great War?
The Great Nor. Correct.
Yeah.
You know, there's many tragedies. I've gotten in many fights with many 5th graders, physical
Really?
altercations.
Uh-huh.
I am 35. About
You look great.
If not, I
Yeah.
know if narwhals are real or not. And all of it ends with impaling them.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You do? Slay. Okay, so do you remember your lecture or were you?
I just needed to take a break for a moment.
She got too
because-
emotional. It was hard talking about the lore of the war of the Nor. So
I just
bars. Yeah.
I cannot talk about it for more than 30 seconds. Otherwise, there's a massacre that happens.
Otherwise, the hard drive gets ejected.
Otherwise, the hard drive gets ejected, and by that I mean I impale somebody with an extinct narwhal's horn.
Yeah, and it's hard. Really
Also
driven
known
in there.
as
We
a
eject
Norn.
somebody from this earth.
Or Norn. And when we are faced with narwhal lore, Nor,
Yeah.
we oftentimes confuse ourselves with Australians.
Mm-hmm.
And we wonder why we are often faced with this term when trying to mimic their accents. Mid-knife. We wonder where that comes from.
Right.
And then we come back to the narwhal horn. and
We
think,
always do.
Why
always
is
do.
this? Why is this all connected? Why?
What?
Why? Why?
You're the expert. Tell us.
Yeah. Well, now you've got her too emotional. It's been more than 30 seconds.
Oh. Okay, we're transitioning. We're transitioning.
Fuck you. Don't you ever talk to me like that again.
I'm sorry. I'm just really passionate about the Nor and their culture. Is it similar to Norse culture? Is it similar to Horse culture? Like, where is the Nor within the lore? I need Nor.
All these tears for it to not see your face at all.
I need Nor. Okay. And scene.
So when you know about the lore.
When I worked at the aquarium gift shop, we sold these stuffed narwhals, and I overheard this family. There was a daughter who's probably 15, 16, and then her entire family was gaslighting her into believing narwhals weren't real. And I don't know if they truly believed that.
That was me. That was me.
What if it genuinely was?
No, it was.
Because she was around my age, and I was 17 working there.
I can't talk about the lore.
But no, this is actually, she was upset about, and I understood. So her entire family, so this was her younger siblings too, and both her parents, I think genuinely believed that they did not exist. They thought they were a mythical creature. I think they mixed them up with unicorns. And so they're see these stuffed narwhals, and they go, why do they sell these? They're not even real. And we also sold pink stuffed otters, so that's not a great argument. But
So
even
otters
if they
with breast
weren't,
cancer.
yeah, that. They're allies. So of breast cancer. So then I overhear this. They're not all talking to me, but the daughter is no, they're real, and they're then why don't they have any in aquariums? And it's she was they can't survive there. They're supposed to be in really cold water, they're in the Arctic and stuff. They're yeah, okay, Catherine. They're genuinely upsetting this 16-year-old who's no, they actually do exist. They're okay, then looking at each other this dumb fuck. And so they get up to the register finally, and I go, by the way, they are real. Narwhals are real. And the dad goes, oh, she's in on it too.
I think I would have
Killed.
taken both of them out back and shot them.
Giving
I
them
would've
back
admit-
shots.
I would have emancipated myself at that
I
point.
think I would have taken the 16-year-old on a leash
Right.
and walked her to a shelter where she would have had a better home. Cause I don't think I could have dealt with that.
I actually can deal with asking the world's greatest expert, Sydney. I know that you have spent years of your life studying the relation between Miss Mary Mack with black buttons all down her back and Macklemore. They are related. I was wondering if you could tell me how and their relation and how deep that is, how emotional that is.
How come you got the Macklemore question?
Because it's unexpected and way funnier than if I had asked you.
So,
Whatever.
I'm really glad you brought this up actually, because I was very interested in Miss Mary Mack at a younger age, and so I did some research.
Our
on
leprosy
her.
queen.
Our leprosy queen, yes.
Our leper.
And so it turns out that, like, when she went to see the elephants,
After our 500th tech issue, we're on our last life. I was just asking the world's greatest expert on the correlation between Miss Mary Mack with the buttons down her back and Macklemore. Please continue, expert. We paid at least $500 to be here.
We should not have played Minecraft on survival mode.
We probably shouldn't have paid $500 for this, but while we're here.
I know. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. So, yeah, so there's this. I did some research and went into Ancestry to really look into the deep dive of Miss Mary Mack and why her dress was black and really where Macklemore got his
His
name.
Mac from.
Yeah, his Mac from. And honestly, when I first started my deep dive, I was just looking into Mary Mack.
I'm gonna kill myself over this.
With silver buttons all down her. Is that a fire alarm?
It's
the
a fire
same
alarm.
neighbor.
Do you think?
The dog set it off. The dog is fucking done. The dog is currently
The dog's
setting
sitting in the
his
kitchen
owner
going,
on
this is
fire.
fine.
The dog is setting its owner on fire.
Wave a towel over it, dumbass.
Should we actually be concerned once it hits a certain point?
No, this happens a lot while you're at work, honestly. Someone just does not know how to cook in this building. And I sit in my room and go,
The big ones would go off if it was concerning.
yeah,
well,
we
that's
would
what
know.
I was thinking, like, if it was getting outside of the house, yeah, the big ones would go off.
But you know how sensitive they are. Unless you wave a towel in front of it, which this person is not doing. Okay.
Okay. So as I was saying, yeah, so I went on to Ancestry, and I originally was just looking for just, the lore of Miss Mary Mack and kind of what her history looks like. And I was pleasantly surprised whenever I found out about Macklemore being related.
I've
So-
heard rumor that they're related to mac and cheese. Is that true?
So it's really tricky. It's
Okay.
like a fifth cousin removed on the dad's side. They kind of don't talk about mac and cheese because he went around and he fucked cheese. And he had a whole family before then, and it was really messy. He was a military man.
Of
And-
course.
But instead of being based in, out of the country, he was based in Wisconsin.
Oh,
And
disgusting.
so, yeah. So, and that's where he met cheese and,
Okay.
that
Yeah,
thing.
and one of
Anyways,
the government cheese caves. I
yes,
heard.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
allegedly.
It was really messy. So cheese, that's a whole nother side tangent.
Obviously,
but yeah,
yeah.
cheese, that's where,
To choose their own.
cheese, to choose their own, yeah. So, anyways, getting back onto Mac. So Miss Mary Mack, she was actually a woman in the 1800s, and yeah, she had buttons all down her back, and she loved the circus, and she actually met another man, Mac Daddy, and that became her daddy.
Yeah, she called him Big Mac.
Mac Daddy lived in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She called him Big Mac.
She called him Big Mac. And that's where actually McDonald's had to buy the rights of Big Mac from Miss Mary Mack after Mac Daddy passed. So yeah, they ended up getting a fling. She had children, and she surprisingly didn't name them with any Macs.
Oh, really?
But the great granddaughter was like, I really want my heritage back.
Of course.
Yeah, and
like
that
the
was
buttons on the back.
yeah, exactly. And her name was Winston Salem,
Okay.
and she was
Right.
like,
So
We paid $500.
yeah. I don't know
Shut-
why you're questioning me.
I'll turn this car around.
I didn't say I was questioning you. It's like when you pay a homeless man to do a jig and he sets himself on fire
How
and
often
you're not
does that
really sure
happen?
why. But you can't blame him.
So how many times
He
has this
gets on
happened?
meth.
No.
No.
As I was saying,
Yeah.
so yes, and so she brought back the Mac
Return
name.
of the Mac.
Yeah, and that's where
Return of the Mac is what it is.
yeah,
What
is
it
what
is,
it
what it
isn't.
isn't.
Yeah. So that's
Ancient
he's
property.
actually paying tribute to his
Yeah,
ancestors
It's beautiful.
and Miss Mary Mack, who was at one point almost the last of her name.
yeah.
And it really is just like a beautiful story. Mac Moore, he really talks about a lot of his tribe. Mac Moore.
Mac L.
Where'd the
Moore.
luck come
Yeah,
from?
Mac
Yeah.
L.
Yeah,
Moore.
Mac L.
Yeah.
Moore.
Okay.
He really talks about he talks about his struggles through life and about how his great grandmother that was very upset about bringing the name back and how she called him gay.
Yeah.
And because
In
he
the
kept
third
his room,
grade.
because
Yeah.
he kept his room straight. And yeah, it was crazy.
Because
It
he
was-
could draw. His uncle was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really a heartbreaking story. But yeah, that they are actually directly related
Okay.
and distantly related to Mac Miller.
Hmm.
Now stop
And-
bringing that up.
He didn't deserve that.
Every
I
once in
don't
a
remember
while,
any
I'll
Mac-
accidentally
McDonald.
call Mac Miller Macklemore.
Oh, that's not even what I was thinking
that,
of.
No, that's the video of the little girl doing that though, where she's listening to "Thank You Next" for the first time, and she like goes, "Oh my god, this line's about Macklemore," and then she like completely is serious, like she doesn't catch it, and she uploads that shit.
What a queen, honestly.
Okay, now it's your turn to pick a word or
Oh,
topic
God.
and pick a person, because you
Okay.
said now it's like because I picked Sydney, remember? So like now we're going down the line. I didn't think it would make you this stressed. Keegan, are you okay? It's been like
Do we need
5
call
minutes.
someone? It has not been 5 minutes. Solid. Oh,
You never let me guess on Keegan. Never have any fun.
I'm the glue of this friendship.
Because if it's so bad, it wouldn't work anyway. You could at least let me try.
You just have to think of a word
And one
Thank
of us.
you.
and a person.
Yeah.
That makes me feel great.
I mean, Mac Miller and Miss Mary Mack.
You are a PR rep, and you have to figure out Stanley Cups are on the decrease. They're on their downfall.
Like how we're
And
changing
you
the game
have
now.
to
I love
figure
it, though,
out-
actually.
You have to market it to your favorite person of all time, Bigfoot,
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well,
That's a good one.
the
I-
expert
I know. I'm the expert on that entire
on
sentence put
metallic
together.
cups and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Somehow those majors came
So-
in with a PhD combined.
Yeah, currently Bigfoot is a huge supporter of the Yeti Cup, and my mission today is to have him stray away from that. I know he's allies with the Yeti, and I get that. Big furry guys have to stick together. Me, I'm trying to get him on Stanley's side. Why, Stanley? It was going like this. It's going like this, baby. Okay, and there's only one person who can fix this. It's turning into a documentary. There's only one
Correct.
person who can fix this. It is Mr. Bigfoot, Mr. Foot, if you will. And so I
Is he
have
related to
found him.
B.I.G.?
He is related to Mr. Big from Sex and the City. Not a lot of people know that. They're both
Oh, so not the
off-putting and
Notorious.
obscure. No, not the Notorious, no. That's really misconstrued, actually. I know that was the expert.
Oh, my bad.
So me and this is not a real Stanley. That is because I would run away right now if I could.
I haven't won the pitch yet.
If I get Bigfoot holding this Stanley Cup, I get a real Stanley and not the $7 one that my mom bought from TikTok Shop because she's easily influenced. So that is my goal today. And I actually tracked him down. It wasn't that hard. People are like, where is he going to be? I asked, where would he not be? My answer, the spa. He was covered in Nair. So I
Did it work?
entered it. It worked. Yeah, obviously if I had him in the sauna covered in Nair. And so I
I'm
said,
at the Nair.
look, that's none of my business.
Not the spa.
I was like, it's damn hot in the sauna. Would you like a cup of water? And he goes, that's not even a real fucking Stanley. I'm like, look, if I win this fucking pitch, they'll finally give me one.
Okay.
And so then I pull out the one that we made custom. We had this ahead of time, baby. We made this custom. It's the Stan Feet cup. And it is for people who stan their stands of Bigfoot. And it has, hey, who's the fucking expert here? It's for people who stand feet.
Oh, and her vice president of the company, girl who is convinced Trump is it's not real.
Look, we're having too many layers to the lore now.
It is real.
Unfortunately. So I hand this to him and I go, look, we named this shit after you. He goes, I've never had anything named after me. I'm like, that's literally not true. But he goes, well, I don't know. I've been in the forest. So I explained to him how much of a cultural icon he's become and how big hairy men are in right now, honestly. They're coming back around, baby. And he's like, really? Like, I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Like, men have mustaches. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. Men are having more mustaches and hair transplants and beards than ever. And they're in the gym getting their gains. And I said it just like that. And he was like, holy shit. So I gave him this cup and he was so surprised by it. I took a picture really quick with Flash because, hey, we're in a sauna. And I ran. And now my real Stanley is in the mail because I gave Bigfoot Stan feet.
So, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
On your search for Bigfoot, did you happen to do any research
No.
at
None.
feetfinders.com?
No, but the people who comment on our YouTube videos, I just asked them because they clearly have a lot to say about feet.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anyways, is it my turn to...
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you
okay,
want this to be like our last like three? Like
Yeah.
Our last. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Cool.
we might go over time. So, I
You
mean,
won't mind
Keegan.
them. Oh.
So, I've heard that you are a really big advocate for the difference between you have a doctorate even in the relation between Doc Martens and P. Diddy.
Wait, what?
I know nothing about people.
Nobody knows anything about anything we're saying.
I know, but I don't even know who P. Diddy
I don't
is.
know either. Okay. Doc Martens and Dr. Evil and how close they are to, like, how they're, oh shit, hang on.
I knew you were going
Wait, stop.
Doc Martin and Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Okay,
Collab. Win.
so please tell me, because I know you're an expert in this, is Doc Martens founded by Dr. Doofenshmirtz? Or, like, what is his relation within the company, if there is any?
Dr. Phil.
Well, people often ask me this question because they mix me up with my porn name.
Yeah.
Dr. Shoe and Squirts.
And Dr. Phil and Dr. Feel.
And constantly I collab with Cinderella, and that's why they always ask me if the shoe fits.
Right.
And trust me, the shoe fits if Dr. Shoe and Squirts.
Yeah.
Like, that's always the goal.
And you're using real leather with both.
Yeah. Let me let you know that there are many laces, and I'm constantly tied up.
And in platforms.
Yep, I'm always on a platform.
So, Perry.
It's good for the soul and the soul.
Yeah. My soles are aching.
Yeah.
Constantly. And I have no soul at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is honestly controversial, and I'm left questioning who I am and who I could have been as a person.
Right.
If I just would have changed my porn name to something a little less Disney friendly. Because honestly,
They keep reaching out to you.
I have this ride at Disney World, and it's not even my fault at this point. Like, I get so many complaints and
About the ride?
Oh my
like
God.
the roughness of it or what?
I just so
Is there like a
there's,
height requirement?
Wait, is this the one that it's like the one of the model of you standing, and then you have Doc Martens on the side, and they go in between your legs?
I think it's the one where she's stepping on people.
Oh, that was a good. It has the drop right after.
Yeah, there's a
because you
big,
go into
wet
Dante's
drop.
Inferno.
well then
It's a
when
splash ride, right?
when my cohort
Cohort.
I wear many hats. So when my cohort puts on
Cohort.
when my cohort puts on his many hats,
Yes.
It's Patty the flappy puss.
Yeah, the puss is emphasized for
and
sure.
you wonder why it's green and yellow, and then you're left to think gonorrhea. And I'm not.
I was
and
just
I'm not,
about to say that.
And I'm not targeting sex workers to have diseases because many of them are safe. I'm just letting you know that
The pair of the
I
platypus
am not.
does. Yeah.
I swim in murky waters
Yeah.
and I have a shoe up
At
my
all times.
ass at all times. I have a shoehorn.
Horny.
Oh, okay. Thank you
So
so much
you
for
wanted
enlightening us.
what was your question?
I think I'm gonna go, actually.
Well, I'm sorry, this is a Comic-Con panel. What was your
I think everyone left, actually.
Yes, so I was wondering, how did you get your costume to fit right?
It wasn't about the costume fitting me, more as me fitting the costume.
Yeah.
Oh, you enveloped it?
It's just how much I could stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of leather.
Because there's
again.
not so much that covers me.
Mhm.
I've heard you're hard to break in.
I have many
you the
sores.
shoe?
I cause many sores.
Are you the shoe?
Many
But
blisters.
don't ask about the blisters.
Um,
Don't want to talk about the blisters.
Okay.
Shuffle. I'm pressing shuffle.
I have little support.
Oh my
I
goodness.
miss Sean Evans so much.
He ate you.
Everybody eats me.
I'm pressing shuffle.
So you're
Wait,
tired.
I'm the one. Okay.
iPod shuffle.
Dr. Shoe and Squirt.
That was so
Dr.
funny.
Phil and Dr. Phil.
Dr. Bill.
Okay. I want to do something that's going to cause suffering right now.
You're notorious for that.
No, Dr. Shoe and Schmerz is.
Shoe and squirts, get it
Yeah.
right.
So, I actually heard that you're the world's greatest expert on robot vacuum fighting rings, Keegan. Would you like to talk about how you have discovered that?
I didn't mean to discover it.
Roombas just in fighting rings having it out. I heard that you were the discoverer, if not allegedly the inventor of that, but I've heard that you cannot agree or disagree to that legally.
I just can't really talk about it at this moment because sometimes when you're really horny and you're on your third marriage and she's a donkey and you're about to get pulled apart because you failed a lie detector test and there's nothing left in this world for you at all.
And there's 4 Roombas instead of horses just waiting to tear you apart. All the Roombas are going different directions. You needed something to bring them together.
Sometimes all you want in this world is to not be the biggest person who sucks. And the only way you can do that, after all of the sins and all the adultery that you've done, because I'm just gonna talk about my donkey.
Your ass.
I don't want to talk about it, okay? But sometimes you need to start a fighting ring where a Roomba fights a Roomba.
Yeah.
And because you've done literally everything else sexually, you have run out of sexual options.
Are you allowed to tape weapons onto them? Or it's just Roomba on Roomba, like raw dogging it?
Or is it toys?
Is it bare? Yeah. Or is anything taped attached on at any
I'm
point?
legally not allowed to use the term
Allegedly.
raw
Like, hypothetically.
But
Hypothetically.
you still did.
Hypothetically, if we were to,
I don't know about that
consider-
sound.
if we hypothetically
Right.
were to erase mankind,
Okay.
but we were to consult one robot, who would it be? Who would be
Right.
our all-time champion?
That
we
one
know
or
who.
that one?
No, we
Oh.
know who it is.
Who?
We've seen him.
Okay.
We've heard of him.
Robot.
He's
The
taught-
rosebud
he's-
vibrator.
Maybe. He's taught us so much.
Yeah, truly.
It's BMO.
Who is that?
It's
BMO.
BMO from Adventure Time.
I've never
And
seen
it's that fucking orange
You were
dude.
wrong.
It's that orange dude from those science videos.
I really thought it was
That-
going to be a Twitter ad for the rosebud vibrator.
No, it's those orange dudes from those
Sponsors.
science videos
Check out.
because all we have left to do is learn. And the robots are
Tim-
not intimidated by us anymore. Tim and Moby.
Tim and Moby.
Thank you. Not Moby Dick. We've already covered him. And
Gotten on top
Dick.
of him, covered him, smothered him,
He
vacuumed
has
him
been-
up, sucked him right up.
We are currently bored. And so are the robots. And so all that's left
Yeah.
is them to fight each other. And I'm currently in hiding. Don't fucking call this number again. Because
Is that why it's so echoey? You're in a cave?
Yes.
Okay.
But don't
Gosama.
tell him. And then that fucking that Moby beat plays. Oh god!
Somebody calls the cops here.
Like,
So, anyways,
It is now your turn to pick a person and topic. I like how I made you go back to back and you just started crying.
Sydney, you definitely don't have somebody in your trunk right now. But also, you really, really, really are trying to convince people that.
So she's the world's greatest expert.
Yeah, in this.
Yes.
Okay.
You are currently trying to teach a Zoom lecture from inside your car about the possibilities of 4-dimensional beings and growing mushrooms between your fingers if the apocalypse ever occurs. But your hostage is getting loose.
That she
Oh.
doesn't have.
That I don't have.
You said she
Allegedly.
definitely doesn't
Allegedly.
have one.
Allegedly.
But it's getting loose, the one you
Okay,
don't
okay,
have.
So thank you so much for joining.
Rachel,
my
you may or may not be the hostage.
I thought I was gonna mute myself. I thought I was in the class.
Maybe.
Um,
Maybe.
thank you so much.
You might
for,
be both. You might have joined the Zoom call from inside the trunk.
I did. Yeah, that's a great signal.
Great signal. Thank you so much for joining the class today. So I know this is a big topic that is really sorry, give me 1 second. I'm in my car, people outside are shut the fuck up. So it is really important to keep a lot of the items handy on you just in case if the apocalypse happens. So I have a few items here that are pretty much essential. First one is a rag for chloroform. You might be asking, why would I need this? Well, let's say you have a child. You have to birth the child during
Kill the child.
no. During the apocalypse, you have to stay quiet. A super low dose will help keep them asleep while and not crying so you don't get killed. Y'all haven't seen A Quiet Place, obviously. Anyways,
I don't think they do that.
they do that.
I don't think they do.
It's at the end of the movie.
Slide.
I don't think they
They
do.
have a newborn child and they hook
But
up
yeah,
the thing
they do like
into
a
the
gas
crib.
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they have a gas. They don't kill the child.
No.
With chloroform?
They don't say exactly what it is.
It's not
but
chloroform.
chloroform's
Look,
made to
I'm
knock
sorry.
you out.
Is she our Zoom lecturer here, or is it you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Anyways.
I thought your mouth was covered.
So
Clearly I'm escaping. That's gonna sound awful.
give me 1 second. Sorry, I have just a few little. Somebody's knocking on my window. Anyways, so as I was saying, no,
You're like, yeah, I have a knife. That's our next thing.
that's our next item is a knife. Yes. So these would be great for cutting the mushrooms that you will eventually be growing out of your fingers. So this sounds so crazy. What's happening here is that I have to get on the road. It's just a little too busy in this area.
Driving car noise.
So mushrooms. You can actually grow mushrooms in between your fingers if you do it just right. It takes a lot of time and skill, and I need to
Just
yeah.
And then the raised hand emoji comes up.
Yes, you have a question?
Do the January 6th riots come into play at all?
So I usually go into detail on a different lecture about that and how unfortunate it was that we lost the January 6th. But I can go into detail. It does,
and I will.
the man, and I will actually. So the man that our
Amanda
Lord and
Bynes.
Savior, the man with the did the lion's head on it. Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
It was a Viking face paint.
A
Is that what you're
Viking
thinking?
face paint with a
Your close friend.
headdress on.
Yeah.
Our Lord and Savior, that man.
Michael Scott.
Don't ever talk about Michael Scott like that.
It's actually Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
And
Return of the Mac.
It's actually P. Diddy.
That's weird.
oh.
I'm sorry. I'm getting some feedback from in your car. Is that Hillary Clinton from coming from inside your car?
Oh, I'm sorry. You have been misconstrued. That is Hillary Clinton.
I'm here in Cedar Rapids, just chilling.
We are not in Cedar Rapids. She is extremely ill, and she took a large dose of. She took a large dose of cough medicine because she was. And so we are trying to keep.
Like somebody's gonna be just killing me if you don't fucking call the police.
So these are examples of what you might hear from people that are non-believers in you, and you just have to ignore the haters.
I'm not in the
And you just have to ignore the haters. Don't let them bother you. Keep doing what you're doing because you are a strong, independent man.
That was just about mushrooms.
Yes, it is. And you grow mushrooms. There's this little spot under your taint.
Why would you say that? No, why would you do that?
You grow mushrooms.
No, why would you put that into the universe? When you got your Roombas and you've got the word taint, I just don't.
That should be the name of the episode, Roombas and Taints.
I don't think we should.
And the first most important thing you should do with your fungus after it's been grown during the apocalypse is to fashion a spoiler for your Hyundai Sport so that the Democrats could never catch you with their 26K bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Yes.
They could never.
Thank you so much for bringing up that point, actually, because it is very important that we keep these damn demos out of here. The Demogorgons. See, that is... Did you hear them? They said, let me out of there, Trump. Like, why is he so... Why are they so obsessed with him?
Like, you can almost hear them saying, like, I'm scared of Twitter. Like, right, snowflakes, like, you're in a trunk, grow up. I mean, what?
You know what I had to do to get to school? I had to jump under a tire and then ride it all the way uphill.
Yeah.
And then, after that, I caught the bus where Miss Mary Mack was, and she was trying to sell her buttons, and it kind of made me weird.
Slutty. Anyways,
Oh my God.
that was our final round. I hate that it had the word taint in it at all, but
That was funny.
can't
That was
stop
funny.
thinking about it.
If shrooms are gonna grow anywhere in the body, that's where it would be.
Well,
You know what? I quit. I'm
it's
out
the
of here.
voice, and I like turned back around. Like I had turned around, and then you said that sentence, and I turned back around.
I'm out of here. Screw you guys, I'm out.
But you've got to plug our social media. Who's gonna do it, Cindy?
It just cold cuts.
I don't know where.
Oh my God.
I don't know where at, Cindy.
Wait, can we have... Wait, editing, Rachel. Can we have a moment
Rachel's killed herself now.
Oh God. Can we have a moment where it just like cold cuts? And then it comes back and you feel like...
Sure.
I feel like that's funny.
Taint shrooms.
Yeah. Andrew Tate.
If it ain't...
Take your time.
If it...
If you ain't a saint, you ain't a taint.
If it... Guys, I've
No, we're letting her
exhausted.
cook.
Guys, I've put all of my heart and soul into the past 5 minutes of my life.
Only 5?
I'm retired. I can't do this anymore.
Next week it will be Sean back again. Unfortunately, he keeps taking over and draining Keegan of all her energy since he is attached to her like a little, what is this called? Like when they get in your stomach and eat everything.
A
Sean Evans? More like Con Evans, because where does Keegan go?
Parasite.
And who is that girl in the back of Sean Evans' trunk?
She's Sean Evans now? Look, I think inside of us, we all have a little bit of Sean Evans inside of us. I think Sean Evans is inside of us.
And Dr. Schuenswort.
Yeah, that too.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening. If you listened this far,
Probably didn't.
I'm so sorry if you did. You might need to go see a doctor for those mushrooms in your fingers.
And don't worry, we have the right doctors right here for you.
Yes.
Yeah, all the doctors.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
Anyways, thanks so much for listening. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at Trauma Tuesdays, and follow us on any of your platforms that you like to listen to a podcast on. Please rate us 5 stars, or even 4.5 if you hate us. So if you hate us, rate us 4.5, and if you love us, rate us 5.
This is America. Don't touch me.
So you have to rate us.
Yeah,
Good.
5.
Anyways, is there anything else I'm missing?
No, we have to leave them alone now. We have to do a little dance to imaginary music. Bye!
I'm kind of worried if I was an actor, I would kill somebody if I... We have a duel in giant hamster balls where we run at each other full speed.
Yep. I was very accepting of that when I said we just need the budget for giant hamster balls, yeah.
The other thing is we could also do it with yoga balls, but we would just need to wear helmets.